everyone. Welcome to English Lifecast, a place where you can think, feel, and grow in English. I'm Rina.
Hello to our dear listeners around the world. I am Alex. It's great to have you here with us today.
Alex, I was thinking about something interesting this morning.
Oh yeah? What's on your mind?
When was the last time you bought a gift just for yourself?
Yesterday, I bought myself a big chocolate donut. Does that count?
I know you like chocolate, but today we're talking about a different kind of gift.
Oh, okay. Now I'm curious. What kind of gift?
A gift for your mind.
That sounds a bit more serious.
Maybe a little.
All right, let me think. Actually, this morning, I finished a great book before coming here. It made my whole day feel better.
Oh, really? What was it about?
It's about a man who felt stuck in his life. He didn't know what to do, so he started reading a little every morning. At first, nothing big happened, but after some time, things slowly changed. His life became very different. It's simple, but very inspiring.
That sounds really nice. Hearing that makes me feel very bad.
Oh no, what happened?
Because last night, I had the same idea. I wanted to read.
Let me guess, it didn't go very well.
Not really. It didn't go as I planned. I sat on my bed, opened a French book. I was ready to start. And then my phone lit up. Ding!
Uh-oh, that's dangerous.
I told myself, just one quick look. Then I saw a video. A girl trying on beautiful outfits, like different dresses and styles.
Okay, I can see how that pulls you in.
Then another video. She was doing her skincare routine, showing how she washes her face and puts on creams.
Step by step, easy to follow.
Exactly. And then another. She was talking about her hair, how she washes it and takes care of it every day.
Wow, that's a full lesson right there.
Yes, just not the lesson I needed. I just kept watching, and before I knew it, 1 hour were gone. And my book was still on the first page.
Yeah, the phone wins every time.
It really does. And that's the thing. We all know reading is good, but our phones take our attention so easily. Why is it so hard to keep going?
That's a great question. Let's think about it in a simple way, like a car. Reading is like driving the car. You need to focus. You need energy. You are in control, and your brain is working.
And watching videos is like sitting in the passenger seat. You don't have to do much. You just sit and watch. It feels easy, maybe too easy.
Exactly. The phone is doing the driving, and your brain can relax. And after a long day, your brain just says, "Passenger seat, please."
That's exactly how it feels. So maybe the problem is not that we are lazy. Our brain just wants to save energy.
Right, that's natural. But if we always choose the easy way, we don't really grow.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our listeners feel the same way. We don't just want the easy way. We want to grow, to feel more calm, more confident, and become a better version of ourselves.
I think that's something we all care about.
Alex, I know you read a lot. History, technology, biology, so many different things. Maybe you can help us understand this. If it's so easy to just watch something, why do we still need reading? What does reading really do for us? And are there any simple ways to make reading easier or even a little more fun to stick with?
Those are really good questions, and they actually matter more than people think. So maybe we can take them one at a time. Let's start with the first one. Why reading still matters.
Okay, let's start there.
I think one of the reasons is that reading actually changes how we think.
How does that happen?
When you read, your brain isn't simply taking in information. It's actively working, making connections and building ideas. Things are not just yes or no, or completely right or wrong. You start to see the gray areas, the space in between.
The space in between. Can you explain that a little?
Okay, let me show you what I mean. I once read a book about forests. It said trees can talk to each other through their roots, under the ground.
Wait, trees can talk? That sounds unbelievable.
I thought the same at first. But the book explained something more. For example, when one tree is sick, other trees can send food to it through the roots. And when insects attack, trees can send warning signals to other trees nearby.
Wow. So they are helping each other?
Exactly. It's like a small community. And after reading that, I didn't just think, oh, that's interesting. I started to think, maybe the world is more connected than I thought.
Ah, so reading didn't just give you information, it changed how you see things.
Exactly. Before, a tree was just a tree to me. After reading, it felt like there is something more behind it.
That feels very different.
Yes, that's what I mean by the in-between. Not just what you see, but what is happening behind it and why it happens.
I like that. It makes things feel deeper.
Exactly. Reading opens a new window in your mind. You start to notice more. You ask better questions.
So your thinking becomes bigger?
Yes, bigger and deeper.
You don't just see the surface. You understand more of the story behind things.
Yeah, and once you start seeing that, it's hard to go back. I mean, you can't just see things in a simple way anymore. You notice too much now.
And you know, there's something else. You always sound confident when you talk about things. You explain things so clearly. Does reading help with that too?
You make me sound like a show-off.
No, I mean it in a good way.
Honestly, reading did help. But I wasn't always like this.
Really?
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, I didn't like reading at all. When I was about 10, I hated school books. They felt boring. One time, I even held my book upside down in class.
Upside down?
Yes, and the teacher said, "Alex, why is your book upside down?" And I said, "I'm just looking at the world in a different way."
That sounds like you.
But then something changed. One rainy Saturday, I found a book about a man alone on an island. I started reading, and after a while, I didn't feel like I was in my room anymore. I could imagine the sand. I could hear the ocean.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It surprised me too. That's when I understood something. When you read, you can go somewhere else. You can go to the past, the future, or just a different life.
So it's not just reading, it's like an experience.
Exactly. And slowly, something else happens. You start to have more to say. When people talk about something, you think, oh, I've read something about this. And you feel more comfortable speaking. Not because you want to impress people, but because you understand more.
That makes sense. So the confidence is not forced, it comes naturally.
Exactly.
I remember last month you explained black holes at a dinner. Everyone was listening.
I hope they weren't just being polite.
No, not at all. They were really interested. And you know what else? You're really good with people. You listen, you don't judge, and you try to understand others. Is that connected to reading too?
Yeah, actually, very much. Reading teaches empathy. It means you understand how other people feel.
I really like that word, empathy. It's a powerful one. So, it means you try to understand people, even if you don't agree with them?
Exactly, and that's the hard part. Let me give you a simple story. I once read a book about a girl who lied to her best friend. At first, I felt annoyed. I thought, why would you do that? That's just wrong.
Yeah, I would feel the same.
But then the story showed her thoughts. She wasn't a bad person. She was just scared. She didn't want to lose her friend, and she didn't know how to tell the truth.
Oh, that feels very real.
Yeah, and after reading that, something small changed in me. Now, when someone makes a mistake, I don't judge them so quickly. I think, maybe they're having a hard day. Maybe they're afraid. Maybe I don't know the full story.
So, instead of judging, you pause a little and try to understand.
Exactly. Reading lets you see inside people's minds. So in real life, you remember that people are more complicated than they look.
You're not just seeing what people do, you're thinking about why they do it.
Yes, exactly. Reading helps you see the story behind the person. You stop thinking, this person is bad, and you start thinking, this person is human.
That's beautiful. And honestly, that makes life easier too. When you understand people, you fight less and you forgive more.
Yeah, that's true. Reading makes your heart softer, not weak, just more understanding.
I like that. Soft, but still strong. And I've noticed something else. When things go wrong, you don't get stressed easily. You stay calm and think things through. I wonder if that's connected to reading too.
Yeah, maybe it's connected. Or maybe I'm just getting old and tired of stressing about everything. But honestly, I think reading helps with that too. It gives you perspective. It means you start to see things in a bigger way. You don't only look at the small problem in front of you. You can step back and think, okay, this is not great, but it's not everything.
Yeah, that already feels a bit lighter. And I like how you used perspective here, seeing things in a bigger way.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I remember reading about families during the Great Depression. Many people had no work for months. Some didn't have enough food, and some even lost their homes, but they still kept going. So now, when I have a bad day, like traffic, bills, or stress at work, or even small things like waiting in a long line or my phone not working, I remind myself, okay, this is annoying, but it's not that serious.
That makes sense. It really changes how you see your own problems.
Exactly. Reading gives you a little distance from your problems. You're not stuck inside the moment. You can step back and breathe a little.
I like that. It's like you're not inside the storm anymore. You're looking at it from the outside.
Right, that's a really good way to say it. Reading helps your mind, but also your emotions.
So reading helps your heart and your mind.
Exactly.
You know, listening to you, it feels like reading is not just about books. It slowly changes you.
Yeah, I think so. Not all at once, but little by little.
And it's not just one thing. You become more confident when you speak. You understand people better. You understand how they feel. You have more empathy. And when things go wrong, you stay a bit calmer because you can see things in a bigger way. You have more perspective.
That's a really nice way to put it.
So it's not just knowledge.
It goes beyond that.
It's more like you're growing as a person.
And those changes don't stay inside. They start to show up in your life.
Right, in how you think, how you speak, and how you connect with people.
Exactly. In small ways every day.
It almost sounds like reading is a kind of superpower.
A quiet one, but a lasting one.
I like that. So, in the end, reading shapes how you think, how you understand people, empathy, and how you handle problems, perspective.
Rina, you've really captured the idea.
And maybe that's the key. Those small changes over time really shape who you become. But for many people, the question is still, how do we actually start?
Good question. I think the most important thing is to keep it simple. First, start small. You don't need to read for 1 hour. Even 10 pages a day is enough.
10 pages. That sounds doable.
It really is, and it adds up. In 1 year, that can be many books. Second, make it easy to start. For example, I like to carry a book with me. If it's in my bag, I'm more likely to read, even for a few minutes.
I can see that. It's right there, so it's easy to start.
Exactly. And when I know I'll be waiting, like at a bus stop or standing in line, I bring a few pages with me. It's simple, but it works.
So you're using those small moments that people usually waste.
That's right. And I've noticed something else. When I read from a real book or paper, I stay more focused.
That's a good point. Nothing is pulling your attention away.
Reading apps like Kindle can be convenient, but for me, a real book helps me stay with it longer.
These ideas feel very practical, easy to try in real life.
Right. And third, read something you enjoy, not something you feel you should read. Choose something fun or interesting for you.
That really matters. If you enjoy it, you'll want to continue.
Exactly. The key is to make reading easy to start and easy to continue.
Maybe we can give our listeners a small challenge.
Let's keep it simple. Tonight, try this. Put your phone away for a few minutes and read just 10 pages.
Just 10 pages. Not too much, not too hard.
That's all it takes. Just begin.
Before we finish, I have a small question for our listeners. What are you reading right now? Or what book is waiting for you?
Tonight, try something simple. Just read 10 pages. After that, pause for a moment and ask yourself, how do I feel now?
And if you try it, come back and tell us. We really want to hear your story. If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful, feel free to give it a like, subscribe, or share it with someone you care about.
Because reading is not just about books, it's about building a quiet space inside you, one page at a time. And if you're still here with us right now, that already says something.
It means you care about growing, about becoming a little better step by step.
And that matters more than you think.
Thank you so much for listening to English Lifecast.
Keep reading, keep growing, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.